class. So yesterday we have completed the double integration method. So basically we have yesterday we understood the double integration method. It is based on uh, your differential equation. The differential equation we have derived yesterday. So this will be in this form. Okay. So this is a differential equation. So we can use this differential equation, and I think we have seen two examples. So the main thing is we have to be careful with the sign convention. Okay. The sign convention we are following is sagging moment is positive, okay, like this, and hogging moment is negative. Hogging moment is negative. So this is sign convention. So this is okay. This is sign convention which we are following yesterday. Okay. So as per this sign convention, and if you solve this differential equation with the help of boundary conditions, okay. So if you get the negative value for deflection, that means your deflection is in the downward direction. And if you get a positive value, your deflection is in the upward direction. So this much should be clear. Okay. So otherwise sometimes you will get confused. You may get positive and negative value. What is the meaning of that? So that you have to keep in mind. If you get a negative value, if you solve a differential equation as per this sign convention and your equation of this form. Okay. In this equation there is no negative sign here. So minus m is not there, only m by ei is there. So if you are following this equation along with this sign convention, and if you solve this differential equation with the help of boundary conditions, if you get negative value for y, you will, that meaning is your deflection is in the downward direction. The deflection may be like this. Okay. And if you get a positive value, I think that deflection will be in the opposite direction. That deflection will be upward deflection. Deflection can be in the upward direction. Okay. So this we have completed yesterday. Okay. So I think this is the problem we have taken yesterday. I explained a example problem with a sinusoid loading. Okay, the sinusoid loading means your loading function is as a sine function. Okay, so that is yesterday our loading was like this. This was our loading. So if we have very complex loading like this loading function is w equal to w0 sine of pi x by L. The L is the span of the beam. So if you have such loading condition, so you cannot use any other method, moment area method or conjugate beam method, you cannot use. Okay, that will be very difficult. So in that case, you have to go for the double integration method. Suppose this is the problem given. So suppose this problem is given. Some beam is given of 6 meter span, and the load intensity is given 10 sine of pi x by 6. This is the load intensity. The unit will be kilonewton per meter. Okay, the kilonewton per meter. Suppose if it is a question, so we want to find out the deflection. So what is the maximum deflection? So yesterday we solved this problem. So what the loading function is a sine function. Okay, the loading is a sinusoidal loading. Okay, the simple meaning is the loading function is not UDL or uniformly varying, it is a sine function. So you will be calling the load function is sinusoidal loading. Okay, if that is the case, we solve this problem. We got the solution for this problem yesterday. The solution means I can get the equation for y. So this we have solved yesterday. So this is w0 by ei into sine of this is the solution we got. Okay, pi x by L all divided by pi by L. Okay, raised to 4. This was solution. From this you can see one more thing. Your load function is sine function, right? Your load function is a sine function. Load is sine function. What is that? Y. The variation of y also is sine function. That means your deflector shape of your beam, this is the deflector shape, this is going to be a, this also will be a sine function. The variation will not be in, yesterday we have seen in the case of pure bending, this will be a part of a circle. Okay, this is a part of a circle, but in this special loading case, your load function is a sine function. Your deflector shape of the beam, this one also will be a, like your sine curve, because if you plot the sine graphically, it will be something like this. So this kind of variation is going to, for you will be having for the deflection also. The deflection function y is nothing but the deflection at any section. This is y, vertical displacement. So this deflection function or elastic curve also will be a sine function. The loading is sine function, that is why your deflection also will be varies as a function of sine. So this is the equation we got for the deflection at any point x. The x we measured from the support A. So this is origin is at support A. So as you vary the values of x, we can get the deflection at any point. So from this equation, one thing is clear. If we have a y, this is the equation for the y. So your maximum deflection will be when this sine term, maximum value sine term will be 1. So maximum value deflection will be W0 by EI divided into 1 by pi by L raised to 4. This one will become L by pi raised to 4. This will be the maximum deflection for this beam. Okay, for this beam maximum deflection will be W0 by EI into L by pi all raised to 4. Okay, so now we can directly find the maximum deflection by using this equation directly. So in the given loading, so now yesterday we have taken the loading is W0 into sine of pi x by L. So what is W0 in this equation? So yesterday we have seen the W0 is nothing but your intensity of the load at center at x equal to L by 2. That you can substitute x equal to L by 2. This L will get cancelled, it will become W is equal to W0 of sine of pi by 2. So that means if we have a loading function is of this form, W is equal to W0 of sine of pi x by L, so where L is the span of the beam. So as you just compare this given loading with this equation. So I have pi x by L, pi x by 6. So what is 6 for the given beam? 6 meter span. Okay. So for this case, you can see the W0 is the load at the load intensity in kilonewton per meter at the center or midspan. So for our case, what is the value of W0? It is W0 is 10. So you can if you know this equation, you can find that maximum deflection directly. It is equal to W0 is 10. What is the unit? 10 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so 10. So this W0 is equal to 10 kilonewton meter or newton per millimeter. So you can convert this kilonewton into newton 10 power 3. So meter into millimeter 10 power 3. So it will get cancelled. So this W0 is 10 Newton per millimeter. So W0 is 10 Newton per millimeter and L is the span of the beam 6000 millimeter. Everything I am substituting in millimeter and Newton, so that your final deflection value you will get in millimeter. Okay, so this will become L power 4 all divided by, suppose your beam is steel beam, the beam is made of steel, your E value will be 2 into 10 power 5 Newton per millimeter square. Okay, so you remember everything I am substituting in Newton and millimeter, so all the Newton term will be getting cancelled in this equation. Finally you will get the deflection in millimeter. So E is 2 into 10 power 5 Newton per millimeter square, and I is the moment of inertia of your beam. Okay, suppose if you take for example some cross section, okay, you take example is maybe 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter. I'm just taking some, okay, whatever is a given cross section you can use that. So in this case your I will be BD cube by 12, 100 into 100 cube by 12. So you will get some value. Okay, you can get that value. I think it will come it is coming 83. Okay, 8.3. So 8.3 into 10 power 6. Okay, 8.3 into 10 power 6 millimeter raised to 4. Okay, so you can substitute this value here. I is 8.3 into 10 power 6. So this W0 by EI, then L raised to 4 and pi. Another term is pi raised to 4. So if you solve it, you will get it is direct question. Okay, I'm just because the problem we did in yesterday, it is a numerical example from that problem. Okay, so if you know this equation, you can start from this equation itself. Okay, so this value you will get. You check the value. Okay, maybe it is. I think I got it something around 79. So this value is coming something around 80. Okay, so you can work out that value. Okay, so this will be coming your maximum deflection. So two things you have to notice. This formula we derived yesterday. So the main thing is, if we have a sinusoidal loading, okay, your deflection or the elastic curve also will be in the same variation. You will have a sign variation. So it is, you can remember this equation very easily. Like if you have a UDL or UVL, what will be the deflection equation? That will be WL raised to 4 by 88, WL raised to 4 by 384. The equation will be in that form. Here only thing is one pi term will be coming extra. So if you want, you can remember this. Otherwise, you can solve the by using the double integration method. Okay, the only thing is the W0 is the maximum load intensity at the center. Okay, so you just compare with this load equation, load function, then you can get this W0 is 10 kilonewton per meter. So that is equal to 10 Newton per millimeter. So now then you can just substitute and then you can solve it. So at the center you will be having maximum deflection will be maximum, and slope will be 0 at the center, because if you slope will be 0 at the center and deflection will be maximum. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so okay, anyway, so we have completed double integration method. So all the question will be of same method. Okay, so you, only thing is you have to form the boundary condition. If we have two constant integration, you have to get two boundary condition from the given beam. Given beam means support condition you have to see, accordingly you have to choose the boundary condition. So once you get the boundary condition, then you just apply those conditions and then solve it. Okay, so after that we discuss, so every time we cannot use the double integration method. So main thing is we are using this equation, d square y by dx square is equal to m by ei, or another one is d raised to 4y by dx raised to 4 is equal to load intensity by ei. To use this equation, so the one condition, your loading should be continuous. So loading should be continuous. Okay, then only we can use your double integration method. The continuous means if we have a UDL, it should be there in the entire span. But some problem is given like this. Yesterday also I think I have discussed. So if load is there, but only a part of your beam, some UDL is there. Okay. In this case, we cannot apply your double integration method, because your moment equation is going to vary. If you take a section here and if you take a section here, the moment equation will not be same. That is why we cannot apply directly the double integration method. This is the first condition. Now it is the main condition. Your loading function should be continuous. So for a discontinuous loading conditions, we can't use the double integration method. Okay, that is why the another method is came, that is a Macaulay method. Okay, so, and the another method, it is a double integration method only, just there is some modification to this method, so that I can solve the problem. I can solve the beam with discontinuous loading also by using the same your equation. So I will be able to solve if we that is the method, Macaulay's method. So here we can also solve the discontinuous loading condition also. So we can solve discontinuous loading even though you have a beam with concentrated load, okay, at the center. So in this case also we can't use the double integration method, because again here you will be having one equation, and then after here if you write a moment equation, you will be having one equation. Here your equation will be different, because in this section this load effect also will be this load term also will be coming in the moment equation. So so in that case you can solve by double integration method, but that method will be very lengthy. Okay, so that method will be very lengthy, because suppose if you take A and this is B and midpoint is C. So first you will take section in the AC segment. You will write the equation for this section mx1. So you can get an expression for y finally, right? We'll use this equation and we can write the equation for y in the segment AC. So now I will take segment CB. Okay, after that I have to take segment CB. So I will write the equation for mx2. Okay, so I will get the equation for deflection in the segment CB. So first is AC, then segment CB. We will get two equations for deflection, maybe y1 and y2. So here the thing is the point C is common to segment AC and CB. So we have to match these two solutions, y1 and y2. We have to, it should be equal at the point C. because the point is common AC, the last point C, and CB, the first point is CB. So you have to match these two equation. So that again you have to some more computational effort. Again you have to match these two solution. That is why the double integration method will become very difficult in such case. So that is why that method is not recommended if we have this kind of loading. So in that case we have to go for Macaulay's method. So okay, so I will explain this method with the help of an example. All the theory, whatever the theory required, I will be covering in that example. Okay, so we will write, the thing is we will write all the momentum with some terms like this, x minus x0 raised to n, some bracket term we'll write. Okay, so that is what I think in the note we mentioned this. So there is a the term is there, I'm not getting that. Some function we use, that is singularity function. Yeah, so for so we can make use of the singularity function to write a common equation even though we have a discontinuous loading. So I'm not explaining what is singularity function and all, so that everything will be covered with in this example. Okay, so I'm directly taking a example question, so where we'll be having the discontinuous loading in the beam. So we'll try to complete this problem, so that I think so that you with this you will be able to understand completely. Okay, the Macaulay's method. So I'm taking a simply supported beam. I'm taking simply supported beam AB. Okay, so this is your beam. So I think I am taking all the possible load. I mean, so here, so let's say here we have some moment. Some moment is acting here, that is 500 Newton meter. Okay, so this is moment is active. It is a concentrated moment or couple acting at this point of your beam. So then we have a UDL. So then we have a UDL for some length. So then again I have a concentrated load. So I think we have included three types of load at least. One is concentrated load. One is some part of your beam is experiencing a uniformly distributed load. And then I have a concentrated moment. So let's say this length of the beam, some length. Okay. Okay. This point, this I am taking 2 meter. 2 meter is the length, and this length. Okay. From this point to this point, that is 1 meter. Okay. So then UDL is for a length of let's say 2 meter, 2 plus 2 5 meter. Okay, so here again I am taking a 1 meter. So 1 meter, so 1 meter. So total span of your beam is how much? 7, 2, 3, 7 meter span. So this intensity of load, okay, I am taking it is 1000 Newton. Okay, and this UDL is 50 Newton per meter. The UDL is 50 Newton per meter. This is your problem. Okay, this is your problem. So you can solve it by double integration method, but that will be very lengthy, very confusing, and that is not that easy. So you have to do a lot of calculations. Okay, this is also lengthy, but so first thing is, first what you have to do is, if we have a UDL, if we have a UDL acting some part of your beam. Okay, so you will make it just continuous. This UDL is starting from here, so simply we'll make this UDL till the end of your beam. So we will understand what is the benefit we are going to get by doing this. So now I added some UDL here, so now it is continuous. But this problem is not the given problem. In the given beam, this the yellow color UDL is not there. So to balance this, I will be applying same UDL intensity for the same length in the upward direction. So these two will get cancelled. The net effect is only the white color UDL. So this is how you have to make your UDL is continuous. So continuous means when once it started, no, it should be there till the end of the beam. That is the meaning of continuous. Okay, not it does. No, it should not be like the entire beam, entire length you have to add UDL. No, that is not compulsory. We can add that one if you want, but that is not necessary. The thing is, once the UDL started, it should be there till the end of the beam. So in this case, from this point to point B. So this part in the given problem, I don't have UDL, so I am adding UDL in the downward direction, this one, and also I am adding in the upward direction, so that these two will get cancelled. So net effect will be only this white color UDL. So that is the first step we have to do. If we have a UDL, the point load concentrated moment, no problem. If we have a UDL or uniformly varying load, such case you have to add load like this. So that is the first step. Okay, So now your UDL has become continuous load. Okay, so first, that is the first step, and the second one is we are going to write a moment equation. Okay, so we are not going to write the piecewise, like each segment I am going to get different moment equation. So instead of that, so I can write a single moment equation that will be valid for the entire span of your beam. So but only thing is we should take the section to write a moment. We have to take a section. The section should be at the end section. So second step is the write the moment equation. Okay, the write the bending moment equation. So write the bending moment equation uh, at end span. Okay, at end span. So that meaning is, so after all the load we are going to take the, like this was your problem. So this is your question, given question. We have some UDL and we have some concentrated load, and this is your support. So for this, the end segment or end span means you have to take a section here after all the three, this concentrated moment, UDL and point load. So after this I don't have any other load, so I can, the end span means, maybe I'm just taking the name CB. Okay, if you take this point as C, so your end span means CB. In this case, you take a section in CB. At a section mean I'm taking the origin as support A. So your X is measuring from support A. So this is your X. So you take a section in the end span XX as shown in the figure in the segment CB, and then write the moment equation for this segment, this section. Okay, so that is the second step. Okay, so we'll understand how, why we are taking this end span. So we'll see in the solution, so we can see that. Okay, so what is the moment equation? Mx. So to write the moment equation, first I have to solve for support reactions. First I have to solve for the support reaction. So I think so we can solve for support reaction. I think what is the support reaction? Ra plus Rb, first equation. The vertical force equilibrium Ra plus Rb is equal to this 1000 plus 50 into 2. This 50 is we have for 2 meter length, so total load is 50 into 2, 100, and 1000 is vertical load, concentrated load. So your total reaction Ra plus Rb is equal to 1100 Newton. Correct. So now we can find value of Ra. You take the moment about B, take the moment about B equal to 0. So you can find the value of Ra. So that is 7 into Ra. So Ra into 7, that is this length, acting in the this is your Ra direction I have taken. So this Ra into 7 is clockwise direction, so positive 7 Ra, and then I have 500 also clockwise, so positive. Okay, 500 positive. Then minus your UDL, we have 2 meter UDL 50, so minus 50 into 2. Okay, so what is the distance from B? So that is 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3, because this UDL is acting at the center. So this is 1, this is 2, so total is 3. Okay, so any other load? Yeah, we have another load is anti-clockwise, that is 1000 into 1 equal to 0. So if we solve it, so I think we'll get the value as so this value will be coming
114.
yeah, okay, 114.28. So if we Ra is 1114, so Rb will be in the 1100 minus this value, so Rb will be some 1085. Okay, 0.7. So we got the Ra and Rb. So now I can write the equation for your moment. Okay, equation for the moment. So why we are writing the equation for the moment? So because we are going to start your solution from the differential equation. So equal to mx by ei. Okay, you have to understand only one question, so the remaining all the question will be same procedure. Okay, so your moment equation will be Ra into 7. So sorry, moment equation is Ra into x. So your equation will be Ra into x. The moment equation writing is simple as okay, and now I have a, it is clockwise, so positive, and here we have a concentrated moment. Okay, concentrated moment 500. The moment is 500 only, because the moment we no need to multiply with the distance. But in the Macaulay's method, we have to write in this form. Okay, 500 into. So what is the point where this
Sir,
moment is
RB
acting?
will be 985. RB will be
Yes, sir.
985.7.
Okay, I think it is. Okay, okay. 985, no? Okay. So yeah, so now we have tried the moment. The moment is only 500, no need to multiply with any distance. But in the Macaulay's method, to while write the moment equation, we will include a term that is your singularity function actually. So how to write the moment term is this moment is acting at a distance of 2 meter from your A. So we have to write like this. This section is at a distance x. Okay, so this the form is to if you have a momentum or concentrated momentum couple, so we have to write 500 into x, okay, minus 2. So this value indicate where is your load point, where your moment is acting in this case, that is 2. So and section is x, so x minus 2, and this should power should be 0 because the moment finally your momentum the moment at the section due to this concentrated moment will be only 500 should be there. That is why we are writing x minus 2 should the term should be there, but power you have to give 0, so that this term is not there actually. Okay, 500 into 1 only, but we
So
have
what
to
do we
write in
call
this
this term x minus 2?
x minus 2
So you just
power 0.
mentioned the term, but yes, what do we call this term? So you mentioned
This
it in.
in general we will be called a singularity function. Okay, this kind of bracket term will write that is singularity function. Hello.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Actually, you don't need to know singular that term also, but this is a in note I have given is a singularity function. But okay, it is just right. It is a we have to write the equation carefully in Macaulay's method. Only that thing. So why we are writing that we will understand by in the solution procedure. Okay, what is the benefit you are going to get if you are writing in this form? Okay, so that is your moment second term. So now I can write. So what is another load? We have this UDL from here to at the end of the B, at the end of the beam B. Okay, so that is the moment will create a negative moment anti-clockwise. So it should be negative. So that term is 50 is the load intensity. So this distance is okay. This is the distance. So this distance is x. So 50 into um, 50 into x minus 3,
3.
because this is 3, so 50 into x minus 3 square by 2, 50 into x minus 3 into x minus 3 by 2, that is a moment at x section x. So this is your moment due to UDL. This entire load I have covered. Okay, this the top above the beam whatever the UDL coming, the full UDL I have covered in this equation. 50 into x minus 3 into x minus 3 by 2, simple equation, that is your UDL moment. And so now I have another load in this section x to the left side. What is another load? I have a upward UDL, so this will create a clockwise moment, so that should be positive, that term should be positive. That moment will be 50 into what is this distance from here to here, that distance will be 5 meter. 2 plus 1 3 and another 2, because this UDL is starting from this point, so this is 5 meters, so this should be 50 into x minus 5 the whole square by 2. This is the moment due to this upward UDL. Okay, UDL acting in the upward direction. So that is the term. The another term I have this moment at this section due to this concentrated load 1000. So that will create a negative moment anti-clockwise of 1000 into, so what is the distance? This is acting at a distance of 2 plus 3 6 meter into x minus 6. Okay, that is now you have completed your moment equation. It is the equation for your moment. Okay, so here the RA value is 114, so you can replace this RA with 114. Okay, so RA is 114.28. so this is your equation for the moment in the n span. Okay, n span, your equation for the moment is this is your equation. Only the thing is you have to write the moment equation like this. If we have a concentrated moment, we have to write in this form. Okay, so now what you have to do is, so now we can take this equation. Okay, so now we can take this equation.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
applied array value is 114.28. But sir, we have not. This is not the array value for the this loading, na? In this
It
loading,
is
we
same.
extended
It
by real.
yeah, we extend. I applied some 50 kilonewton per meter for a distance of
Oh, I got it. I got it. Sir.
yeah. I have same loading in the downward, so net effect is 0. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so here will be another term plus same term negative. So these two will get cancelled. Okay, so yeah, so now we can see this moment equation I have written for this section, but from this same equation, from this single equation, I can get the moment equation for any section. Okay, so what I'm saying is, suppose if you take a section here, I am giving some name a b, maybe this point is c, this constant load is acting at c, maybe this point is d, and this is e, and it is f. Okay, suppose if you have a if you want to get the equation for the moment in section AF. Okay, in this section AF, so if we so we have some terms in bracket. Okay, we have some terms like this, x minus 2x minus 3 some. So in general I will be writing x minus x0, this kind of term. So whenever if you're writing a moment for any section, suppose this term is coming negative, if this term is coming negative, if this term is coming negative means you have to take that term as 0. Okay, so another case, if suppose if we have in general I'm writing x minus x0 raised to n, if this quantity is coming negative in any of the section, okay, from the same equation, if this quantity is coming negative means you have to replace this term with 0. And suppose if this is coming positive like this, suppose if it is positive, then that term we have to consider, like it is saying that you take that term. And uh, if n is equal to so another case is if n is equal to, okay, if n is 0, in that case your this term it will become 1. Okay, so now you take, okay, this is the only thing you have to remember. This is how you have to replay, you have to deal with this bracket term. Okay, all these bracket term, or not only this one, all these bracket term we have to take like this. For example, suppose if you want to get the moment equation for segment AF. Okay, so if you write segment AF means your x, what is the x value in the moment equation? X should be varies from 0 to 2 meter, 0 to 2 meter. So if x is equal to maximum is x is 2 meter. Okay, so if you x is 2 meter means this is 2 minus 3, this is going to be negative, so this term should not come, it will not be coming for the segment AF. And here also negative x minus 5, and this one also negative, and it will become x minus 2, already it will be 2 minus 2, it will become 0. So finally for the segment AF, the moment equation will be only 114 into x. Suppose if you take segment FE, this segment, okay, segment FE, if you take the second segment like FE, again you apply the same logic, your x is going to vary from 2 to 3 meter. Maximum value for x will be 3 meter in this segment FE. If x is 3 meter, this time will come 114 into 3, that will be there, and 500 into x minus 2, 3 minus 2 raised to 0, that will be there. It will be 1 anyway because power is 0. And if you come to this term x minus 3, the 3 minus 3, so this will become 0. And if you come to this term x minus 5, that will become 3 minus 5, so that term will become negative. So if it is negative means you don't need to consider that term, you can remove all those terms. So finally for a section in FE, if you take a segment in FE, section in FE, your moment equation will not have this term, and these three terms will not be there. Okay, and similarly if you take section DC, okay, DC, this section, so your x is going to vary from 5 to 6 meter or 6 meter, maximum is 6 meter, 5 to 6 meter. So in that case this term also will be coming because is 6 minus 3 is positive, that term you have to consider, and here 6 minus 5 positive, we have to consider that term, and this term will become 0. So this term will be coming only in the end span. So based on this, we will use only single equation, but in the solution time, or in the solution time, if some term is coming negative, means we can just remove that term. So instead of writing different equation, I just wrote single equation, but it does not mean that I have to use this equation for the entire span. So whenever this bracket quantity is coming negative, means you have to just don't consider that term for that section. That is what you have to do in the solution. While solving, you have to do like that. Okay, I'm only thing is what benefit I'm getting. I'm writing only single equation, but I will be able to solve with the help of only single equation. So if you write different equations, then it will become very complex. So instead that you write single equation, but only one thing you have to keep in mind, this singularity function, this is whenever it is coming negative. Negative means if x value is less than 3, this term is going to negative. So these terms should not consider that for that segment. That is what you can understand from the given beam also. This 50, this UDL will be coming only for this section. Only for this, from here onwards only your 50 load is started, no, from after x equal to 3 meter only your this UDL is acting in the beam. So after this point E only you have to consider this term. That is what actually I have written here also. By simple way you can remember this, whenever this quantity is coming negative, you simply remove that term, okay, and don't consider that term. And if it is positive, means you keep that term in the integration also. Okay, that is why we are writing even in the moment also. I want to know what is the where your moment is acting at a distance 2 meter from A. That is why we have to write x minus 2 term, x minus 2, but moment anyway, you know, it should not be multiplied with any distance, so it should be only 500. That is why for the moment we have to keep power is 0, and if it is UDL, your power will be coming 2 automatically, your power will be 2, and for the constant load your power will be 1, x minus x0 raised to 1 in that form. Okay, so if you no need to study like that in that form, like UDL you have power 2, constant load power 1, moment power 0, that may become complex again, become difficult again. So instead of that you can just write the equation as usual, because if you have a UDL you will write in this for 50 into x minus 3 whole square by 2, you point load 1000 into x minus 6, that is, you know, that is how you are writing the moment equation. Okay, simply write, only thing is the moment, constant moment you keep in mind, and after that whenever you have this bracket term, this whenever it come in negative, you just remove that quantity. Okay, and if it is coming positive, you keep it while solving. Okay, so that is the second step. Okay, first step is you are extending. If there is any UDL or UVL, you have to extend till the last point of your beam. And second step is write a moment equation by taking a section, okay, at the end span. So like this. So while writing you have to be very careful, because if once you write the equation correctly, then it is simple, then you have to just go for the integration only. Okay, so if here you have to be careful and all the power and all, okay, you should not miss anything. So this is how we have to write the moment equation for the end span. So now we can go for our the last differential equation. So now I can substitute here and we can do the integration. That is the next step. So the next step is we'll start the integration to get the deflection. Okay, to get the deflection we have to do the integration 2 times. So I will just write that equation. So your differential equation is this form, EI. So EI into d square y by dx square, so equal to mx. Okay, so mx I have to write again. So 114.28 x plus 500 into x minus 2 raised to 0 minus, okay, I am just writing it is 25, 50 by 2 is 25, so 25 into x minus 3 whole square, 25 x minus 3 whole square, and plus 25 into x minus 5, 25 into x minus 5 whole square, okay, and minus 1000 into 10 power 6, minus 1000 into 10 power 6. So now it is simple. We can go for first do the integration with respect to x. So this will become ei dy by dx. Okay, ei dy by dx. So this will become integration 114.28 x square by 2. Okay, so here you don't need to worry, whatever the integral of x minus x0 raised to n. So whatever it is, power 0, 1, 2, 3, or x minus 2, x minus 3, whatever it is, you don't need to worry about this. You just take as usual how we are doing the integration, x minus x0 raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. That is the integral of this term. Okay, and dx is there. Integral of x minus x0 power n dx, it is equal to x minus x0 raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. So this is your integration. So based on this we can write this will become 500 into x minus 2, 0 plus 1, 1 divided by 1. Okay, so minus 25 into x minus 3, integration will become x minus 3, 2 plus 1, 3 divided by 3 plus 25 x minus 5, 3 by 3 minus 1000 x minus 6 power 2 by 2. So that is your integration plus constant of integration, the first constant of integration. So now I got the equation for your dy by dx. So what is dy by dx? That is the slope of the beam. And now I got the equation for the slope. To get the deflection equation, I have to do the integration once more. Okay, second integration, if you do the integration again with respect to x, you will get ei into y. It is equal to, so you will get this equation as, okay, 114.28 x raised to cube by 6, 3 into 2 plus 500 into x minus 2 by 2. Okay, so minus 25 into x minus 3 raised to 4 divided by 4 into 3, 12. So plus 25 into x minus 5, 4 by 12. So minus 1000 x minus 6, 2 plus 1, 3 by 6. Okay, I think I am correct. Plus c1, the c1 is a constant integration, so it will become c1 x plus second constant integration c2. So now you got the equation for your deflection. It is your equation for the deflection y. So now I got solution. I know I can find out the deflection at any point by simply substituting the value for x. Only thing is I don't know the value of constant c1 and c2. So I have two constant, so I have to use two boundary conditions. So we can use any two boundary condition. I think yesterday we discussed about boundary condition. The boundary condition means for some value of x, some quantity should be known to you. That can be a deflection value or it can be moment value. If you know this moment or deflection at some point, so that can be a boundary condition for your problem. Okay, so in our case we have a simply supported beam. So our beam is simply supported beam of 7 meter. If you take support A and it is support B, so what will be your boundary condition? So you will be having the boundary condition at the both the support. Okay, at the both the support, your deflection will be 0. The deflection will be 0 at the both the support. So we can write at value of x equal to 0, your y value should be 0. X equal to 0 means x I am measuring from, you be careful with the origin. Okay, where we are keeping the origin, x I am measuring from A in this question. Yesterday in the cantilever beam we have seen we are measuring the x from the other direction. So you have to fix your origin whenever you are writing the moment equation. So that you have to keep in mind. Okay, till the end of your problem. Okay, so at x equal to 0 mean at this point y should be 0 because it is a simply supported beam. So this deflected shape should be something like this. So here A and B, your deflection must be 0. So this should be the first boundary condition. And second boundary condition is at the support B, your deflection should be 0. So what is the value of x at the support B? X is measuring from here. I have a beam of 7 meter span, so this x is 7 meter, your y is 0. So y is 0, that is your second boundary condition. So we can also write another two more boundary condition. Moment x equal to 0, your moment should be 0, and x equal to 0, your moment x equal to 7, your moment should be 0. That is another two more boundary condition. But I think I can solve these two equation to this c1 and c2 from these two boundary conditions only. I think I will able to solve it. So another boundary condition, moment at a equal to 0, x equal to 0, moment is 0. The moment is 0 means, so what is the meaning? Moment is 0 means your d square y by dx square, this term is 0, because your moment is nothing but m is equal to ei into d square y by dx square. Okay, or d square y by dx square equal to m by ei. So if moment is 0 means m by ei will be 0. So what is m by ei? That is curvature, d square y by dx square. So if you are applying the boundary condition in terms of moment, you have to use this equation, the d square y by dx square equation. But anyway, I think we will take these two boundary conditions first, because these are simple. So whenever you are taking these boundary condition for the deflection y, you have to use this equation, you have to apply in this equation. Okay, first I will apply the first boundary condition. At the value of x equal to 0, your deflection is 0. Okay, so if you substitute x equal to 0, your deflection y is 0. So 0 equal to x cube. So this term will become 0, plus what will happen to this equation? X minus 2, that is 0 minus 2, this term is getting negative. So negative means that property we have to apply. Whenever we are substituting x equal to 0, it is 0, y is 0 already. So 0 equal to 114 into x cube, 0 cube. So that term is 0. But when you come to this point, or this term, what will happen? This term will become 500 into x minus 2, that is 500 into 0 minus 2. This term is becoming negative quantity. So this term should not consider. Okay, this term not need to consider for that. So again, this will also become negative, don't consider this term. This will become negative x minus 5, 0 minus 5. So like this, all the terms are getting negative. So okay, so all this term we not need to consider for this equation. So this finally it will become, here I have a term c1 into x. So that is c1 into x is 0, okay, plus c2. So finally from this equation we can see 0 equal to, this is 0, 0 plus 0, c2. So finally your equation, the result is c2 equal to 0. So I solve value of c2 from the first boundary condition. So these all that, if you consider these terms 0 minus 2, minus 2 raised to 2, then everything will be wrong. Okay, that is how we have to apply. We have to make use of this equation, and you have to apply, whenever you are applying the value for x, you see any value, any quantity is becoming negative, this bracket x minus 2, x minus 3, if anything is becoming negative, you simply avoid those terms. Okay, so why we are not considering this term? Because this load effect will not come at this point a. At the support a, x equal to, at that section these terms will not be there for the momentum. Okay, that is why we are not taking these values while solving it. So now I got the value of c2. So now I can apply second boundary condition to solve the value for c1. So what is your second boundary condition? Ei into y, x equal to 7, y is 0. That means second boundary condition I am applying, 0 equal to, okay, y is 0. So here I have all the terms will be coming 114.28. Some of you have to solve it. Okay, I don't have the value. So divide by 6, x is 7, so 7 cube plus 500 into 7 minus 2, 5 square by 2 minus 25 by 12 into x minus 3, 7 minus 3, 4 raised to 4 plus 25 by 12, x minus 5, 7 minus 5, 2 raised to 4 minus 1000 by 6, x minus 6, 7 minus 6 into power 3, so that is 1 power 3, so simply 1 plus c1 into x, c1 into 7 plus c2 is 0. So now I got one equation in terms of c1. So if you solve it, you will get the value of c1. Some of you please solve it. Okay, tell me the value of c1.
54.8.
What is the value?
54.8
Positive, no? 54.8
for C1.
Okay, so C1 is positive 54.8.
Mm.
Okay, so now we got the value of C1. Okay, so most of the time one of the constant will become 0. Okay, that means you have to apply the right boundary condition in the beginning. Suppose somebody using this boundary condition at the as first boundary condition, what will happen? They will get everything 7 C1 plus C2. So we don't know the value C2. So first you have to solve for C2 and then you have to go for C1, so that you can get this equation in terms of only one unknowns. So now I got the value of C1 and C2. So now we can find out the deflection at any point. So I think I will explain that also, because and there you can see how to find out the deflection at different section. So okay, so now I think I have to write again this term. Okay, finally now I got the value C1 and C2. Now we got the solution. I can find the deflection and slope at any point. Simply substitute the value of C1 C2 in this equation and substitute the value of x. Okay, so finally your solution is your deflection y equal to 1 by ei. Okay, 1 by ei into final solution is this one. Okay, so 114.28 by 6. Okay, 114.28. so this solution is 1 by 6 x cube. Okay, so this is 500 by 250 into x minus 2 whole square plus 250 into x minus 2 whole square, so minus 25 by 12 into x minus 3 all raised to 4. Okay, so this is 25 by 12 into x minus 5 raised to 4 plus 25 by 12 x minus 5 raised to 4, so minus 1000 by 6, minus 1000 by 6, minus 1000 by 6 into x minus 6 power 3, x minus 6 power 3. Okay, so plus c1x plus c2 is 0, c1 is 54.8, so plus 54.8 into x. Okay, this is your final equation for deflection. Okay, so now suppose your beam is, and this is your beam, the beam is like this. So this was your loading. I have 500 and then I have UDL, then I have constant load. This is 2 meter. Okay, and this is 1 meter, this is another 2 meter, 1 meter and 1 meter. So beam A B. Okay, this point is C and then C D E F. So this is a just point I am taking. Suppose, so now your problem is over, means you can find out the deflection at any point in the beam, because the x is measured starting from here, x0 at point A, 2 at F, at point E your F value x is 3 meters. Like this, if you take any section, if you want to find the deflection at this section, okay, you take the value of x, substitute here. Suppose I want to find the deflection at point D. Okay, suppose I am just giving an example. Okay, so deflection at point D you have to find out. So what is the value of x? That is yd is equal to y at x equal to 2 plus 3 5 plus 1 6 meter. Sorry. So at D means your x is 5 meter. Correct. So deflection at D is equal to yd equal to y value y at x equal to 5. That is your deflection at D. So we have to just simply substitute the value of x only in this equation. So this will be become 140. I'm just writing one or two equations so that it will be clear for you. So this will be into x is 5, so 5 cube plus 250. Okay, 250 into x minus 2, 5 minus 2 raised power 2. Okay, and plus 25 by 12. Okay, it is negative. It is negative. 25 by 12 into x minus 3, that is 5 minus 3 raised to 4 plus 25 by 12. So this term will become 0, 5 minus 5, so this is going to become 0. this will become, this is going to be, this term will become 0 anyway, so, but I just wrote it. Okay, this is going to become 0, and after this what is the next term? Minus 1000. Okay, 1000 by 6 into x minus 6. If we substitute blindly, it will become 5 minus 6 raised to 3. So as per our, and plus 54.8 into x. Okay, x is 5 meter. So this is your deflection value. But only thing is, the point what I am telling is, so while you should not blindly apply the value for x in this equation, you have to use very carefully, because this entire equation is not, all the terms will not be there for all the points. Okay, so if you take a no need to remember anything, if you take a for deflection at yd where x is 5, so whenever this bracket term is coming negative or 0, you remove this term. This is coming 5 minus 5 0, so you remove this term from your deflection equation. And another term 5 minus 6, this term is becoming negative, so you don't take this term for the deflection calculation. So you simply find out the remaining quantity, that is your deflection. Okay, that is how we have to solve it. Suppose if you want to find the deflection at f, okay, deflection at f, that is your deflection y at f means x equal to 2 meter. Okay, so substitute the value for x is 2 meter, that means this term will come 2 cube, this term will become 0, 2 minus 2, this is becoming negative, so this term also will become 0. So like this, all this term will become, this term will come. Okay, so your deflection at f yx equal to, that is 114.28 by 6 into 2 cube plus this is 0, this is also 0. Okay, minus 0 plus 0 again minus 0 and plus, don't forget this term. Okay, don't think that after this everything is 0. Sometimes we will do the mistake like that. There is a term c1x, so that term always will be there. Okay, c1, the constant will be always there, constant integration. Okay, so this is 54.8 into 2, so this is your deflection. If you just find out the value, divide by your flexure rigidity ei, so that is your value of deflection. This is you have to use this equation very carefully. Whenever you are getting a negative, you just remove that term from the deflection calculation. And the same thing for the slope also. Suppose if you want to find the slope at any point, you use the equation dy by dx. So we already have this equation you have to use. So ei into dy by dx, so this quantity plus c1 is 54.8. So you use this equation, and again if you substitute the value for x for a particular section, and whenever this is becoming negative, okay, whenever this is becoming a negative, you remove those terms. So that is how we have to find the deflection and slope at any point. Okay, so that is the solution for this question.
Sir,
So the same procedure only you have to do for any question. If we are following a double integration method or Macaulay's method, so you have to follow the same procedure. So if you have any doubt in this, yeah.
sir, you told that if x minus x naught to the power is less than 0, then we have to take x minus x naught to the power n is equals to 0.
No, less than 0 means that is negative. Okay,
Sir,
if it is
n,
negative,
sir, yes sir, if the value of n is even number, then we will not get x minus x naught to the power is less, n to the power n is less than 0, if n is even.
so I think no need to see the n value also, you just see the x minus x 0 only.
Okay.
I think you just forget about, I think in the note, I don't remember what I have given as the note, n positive, you everything forget about, you see the value x minus x 0, that bracket, if that quantity, okay, x minus x 0 is negative, you remove that term. You
So that
x
means
minus
the
x 0
bracket
negative
value
means,
is negative. We should.
yeah, you see, you don't see the value of n. Power can be even number
Hello?
or odd number, whatever it is. You see the value of x minus x 0. If that is negative, so you remove that term. Okay, and if it is, if there is some value there, but still your n is 0, power is 0. In that case, it will be 1. That is the case for your moment. Okay, this kind of term that will come only for the constant at the moment. And if power is not 0, okay, and x minus x 0 is positive, then you have to take that term.
Okay, sir. We
Okay.
have to consider is even or odd. We have to consider that one
Yeah.
bracket. Okay.
Yeah, so you have to see only the x minus x 0, that quantity. What is the physical meaning? You forget about the equation. That is the equation. You have, that is the step you have to remember while solving or while writing the equation. What is the physical meaning of that? The x minus x 0 is negative, means we are using the equation. We are using the loading some terms is beyond that section. Suppose this UDL is coming from after this point only. But if you're trying to find the deflection at this point, this momentum, this loading, the moment due to this loading term will come as a negative term. The negative physical meaning is your load is not up within that section. That load is not present. Okay, within that section your load is not present. That is why that quantity is coming negative. That is the physical meaning of that negative means. I think somebody was asking doubt.
Sir, that means x must be, yes,
X
sir.
must be.
That means x must be always greater than x naught.
So in that case only you have to take that term.
Yes.
Okay, very simple. This is negative, you take it as 0, and positive you take that value. This is anyway you know. This is anyway simple mathematics. Power is 0 means that is already 1. So this anyway you don't need to even add as a step. Don't you can just remove this step also, because power is 0 means without telling you, you know this. I have something x minus 7 power 0, that is equal to 1. So this all you just remember, this is negative, you have to remove that term. The load is not present for that section. The load effect is not present. If it is positive, you have to consider that effect of load. Okay, don't simply apply the values and get the answer. Okay. So if you have any other doubt from this method, I think I have done. Okay, this topic I have done. So if you have a doubt, I will discuss. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I think, is anybody having any doubt? So same method. I think if suppose if you have some other loading, okay, I'm not solving the question, we can solve it. Okay. Suppose if we have some.
Shankar,
Yes.
can you please discuss the question that I had sent you?
Okay, I do not see WhatsApp. Okay, you have sent something. Okay. So I think I will not solve completely. I will give the concept. Okay. I think I have given a solution. I think you may have some doubt. So I will just give the concept. That will be fine, no? Rhythm.
Sadhana,
Okay.
I was actually solving that problem. Sir, I am also confused that how to solve that problem, sir, actually.
Okay. I think I was about to discuss that one only. Not this problem, but that loading. Suppose we have seen in this method I explained. Suppose if you have a discontinuous loading like this. So this loading is there. I will be adding UDL like this. So what is the benefit I'm getting? Because while writing the moment equation, that will be very simple, because if I take a section in the n span here, this loading is continuous from here to here, and this loading also continuous. Once it started, it is also there till the end. So there will be two terms, w x square by um, 2 minus another term also will be there with the negative sign, w x minus something, okay, x minus 2, maybe something like this. So I can simply write the moment equation. Okay, that is why we are adding the load, and we should add same load in the opposite direction, so the net effect will be 0, this load. So this problem will remain same as your given problem. Okay, the answer won't change. Suppose if you have a uniformly varying load. Okay, suppose you have a uniformly varying load.
Yes,
So
sir.
maybe I will, okay, whatever you have sent. Okay, the same question. Suppose you have a cantilever beam, or it can be simply support a beam, whatever it is, the same procedure. Suppose you have a concentrated load, uniformly varying load like this. So I have a uniformly varying load. So 90 kilonewton per meter. This is 90 kilonewton per meter, and this is 0. Okay, and this is your total span I'm taking as 3 meter. Okay, this is 1 meter and it is 1 meter and it is also 1 meter. So your beam is so this is the question. Okay, how to solve it? So again you cannot use the double integration method directly because here also loading is not continuous. Okay, I also have a concentrated load in that question. The constant load anyway you can, it is simple, no need to make any changes, simply write the equation then you solve it. Okay, the concentrated load will not have any effect. Okay, so this is 20. The concentrated load you don't need to modify anything, you can keep it as it is, then simply write the equation for a moment and solve it. So here if you look at this example, okay, I'm taking it is support A, it is point B, this is C and D. So this uniformly varying load, it is starting from here, okay, and it is just continuing up to here D. After that there is no load. So again this is a discontinuous load. Example, it is a discontinuous load. After D there is no, this load is not continuing after that. Okay. So we have to so I want to make this load continuous. So what you have to do is you take the beam and extend the loading for the remaining span. So here I have, this is 0 and here this, what is this value? It is given as 90. Okay. Okay. So my drawing is not to the scale, but you just understand. Okay, this is 1 meter, it is 1 meter and this is also 1 meter. Okay. So this load I want to make it continuous. That means I'm going to add the remaining part. So I cannot just add a UDL. I cannot add a UDL like this. Then then also your equation, you can't write a single equation. It will be difficult. So you add a UDL, uniformly, you extend this uniformly varying load. Okay. Extend this uniformly varying load like this. So like, how did you extend the UDL? Here I have intensity, every meter I have intensity is uniform W. So that is why I am extending the same value W for the remaining length. Here the load is uniformly vary. It is every 1 meter your load is 90. If you go another 1 meter you will get another 90. 180 will be the intensity. It is uniformly varying, not uniform. So I am extending the same load, same nature, the same trend. It means same rate. Rate should be same. So you extend like this, the yellow color load. Okay. So if you extend like this, what will be this value? Somebody tell me what will be this value? This is 1 meter. So this is 1 meter. So what will be this value in this load?
180.
This is, it is 90. So if you go another 1 meter, you will get another 90. So total is 180. Correct. 180 kilonewton per meter. This is the intensity of the load at this section, free end, and 90 is the intensity of the load here, and 0 are the intensity of load at this point. If you go 0.5 meter, what will be the intensity? 45, because it is uniformly varying. The slope is same, the rate of change is same, but it is not uniform, varying. So now I applied some load. Now your loading has become continuous, but only thing is this is not the problem. This is not the given problem. So this is not, this is, both are different. Okay, I have the load here, constant load is there. Okay, constant load is there already. So what happened? Okay. So now to balance this I have to apply the load in the vertical direction also. So if you are following the same method as in the previous example, you have to apply same load here, 90, apply in the vertical direction so that it will be equal and opposite. Here you have to apply 180. Okay, so this is, so you apply load like this. This is 180 kilonewton per meter. It is 90 kilonewton per meter. So now we have done. Now your problem is over. It means your loading is fine now. Your loading is continuous now. The continuous, I am again repeating, I am taking the section from this support. Okay, again this problem also I am measuring your section from support A. You can't take from B, I think, in this case, because if you take from B, you have to, it will be very complex. You have to extend loading something like this. That will be very complicated. So you have to take section from X. You have to measure from A. Okay. So you are taking section from A. Section is from measuring from X. From A. Okay. So your loading is now it is continuous. Okay. Once you start, it is there up to the end. This is starting from here. okay, it may be fine, it is up to there, up to the end of the beam. So now we have to take a end section. The end section means after all this load, okay. So we have to take a section in the segment DB. We take a section in the segment DB. Take a section in the segment DB. So now it is a simple beam, simple cantilever beam, determinate beam. So you should be able to find out RA. Okay, you can find out the value of RA. RA will be total load. So whatever is the total vertical load, that will be your RA. So RA will be equal to, in this case, 20 plus this load, half into 1 into 90. So that is 45. So 20 plus 45 is, so I think I'm correct, 65. That is your value of RA. Okay, so this RA is 45. So you know this value is 45. So now we can take a section here. You write the equation for the moment at section X, that is RA into X, that is 65 into X, right? 65 into X, and here I have a load of 20 acting at a distance of 1, so minus 20 into X minus 1, correct? X minus 1. So now we have to include the term for this triangular load. Okay, the triangle load I am taking section here. That means you have to consider only your loading is like, loading diagram will be like this for that load. So your load is here, and it is your section. Okay, it is your section X. This section X. Okay, so this is, I think it is a little complicated, but procedure is straightforward. So it is 0, and this is your total length. It is X. Okay, so now, okay, it is complicated, right? The procedure is simple, like so this triangular load is there, that will create a negative moment, correct? This will create negative, so I have to find this value actually. So I should get the value of moment at this, sorry, intensity of the load. If let us take Wx, here 180 and here 0, and this distance is total is, sorry, this is X, so it is X minus 1. Okay, so this is like this. This is your total load. So 180, and it is your 90. A section is coming here. So this distance is, okay, it is X minus 1. This is X minus 1. Okay. So what is this distance? Three minus X. Okay, this is
2 minus X.
3 minus X, no? 3. Okay. Okay, so total length is 2 meter. Fine. So now we have to find this intensity of the load at this section. This is Wx as per this. So this one you have to find from the similar triangle. I think, yeah, you can find out that, but procedure is simple. You have to find this intensity of the load. You use the similar triangle concept. So that is 180. Okay, 180 by 180 divided by this length. What is this total length? 2 meter. X minus 1 plus 3 minus X, or simply 2 meter. You know already it is 2 meter. So X 180 by 2. 180 by 2, it is equal to, okay, so this intensity I want to find, that is Wx I am taking for Wx divided by this length. Okay, so what I think you can see that, so 180 by total length is 2, the slope equal to Wx by this length, X minus 1. Okay, so that is Wx, it is W suffix x, okay, Wx, okay, divided by X minus 1. So from here you can solve it. From here you can find out. So Wx equal to your X minus 1, okay, X minus 1 into 180 by 290. That is your intensity of the load Wx. So now I can write the equation for the moment. Due to this uniformly varying, that is what is the intensity? It is wx. So in the moment due to this you vary, that is anti-clockwise direction, that is negative moment, so negative. So moment is half into, so what is this length? That is x minus 1, half into x minus 1. Okay, half into x minus 1 into wx. So now your total load. So now you have done your total load into the distance from the CG of your triangle. So what is the distance? CG will be here. So this distance will be the base, total length of the base by 3, that is x minus 1 by 3. So this one into x minus 1 by 3. So now we have done here this load. Okay. So now we have another load, this trapezoid load. So here again we have this your section x. Okay. So I am going to write the moment equation due to this load. So again here I have 90. So what is this intensity I have to find again? So this intensity I have to find, this I am taking wx1, the intensity means this one. Okay, this, what is the intensity of the load at this section? Okay, so once you find out this intensity of the load, again you write the moment due to this load, that is going to be positive sagging moment. Okay, so this moment is going to positive, that is here I have 90 is intensity at this section, and at this section the intensity you have to find. Again you have to use the similar triangle only. Okay, here you are going to have a trapezoid. Okay, so I can find out the value, what is the intensity at this point, because I know the value here 180 and here 90. So I know this value, this length, and I know this length. So I can find out the intensity of the load at this section in terms of x, like this, something like this. So if you know these two values, you can again find out the moment. It's straightforward. Either you can divide into a square and a triangle, then you can write the equation for the moment. That will be function of x. Some term will be coming something like this. This problem, it is straightforward, simple, but you have to be careful, and it is going to be very lengthy. Okay, it is not small problem. It will take time, but solution technique should not be, you should not have any confusion. So I think I have given a solution, I hope. So please go through solution. Okay, I think you understood the concept. Only this one, you extend this loading. Okay, and then you apply the after that you just as you like in bending moment chapter also, you must have deal with this kind of load, trapezoidal loading and all. Same concept, you find out the area of the load by take area of the load, then you multiply with CG distance and write the equation for the moment. Okay, so but you have to, here everything will be coming in terms of x. That is all, because your moment equation you are writing. After that you go for your differential equation. Okay, and then you can do the integration. So this problem you just understand the concept, but anyway you won't get this kind of question for objective exam, not for end semester. If any objective exam you won't get, even if get kind of exam you won't get such lengthy problem. But if you do this kind of problem, your concept will be very clear. For this method and all, everything will be clear. But this can be asked for descriptive exam end semester. If suppose the semester exam is descriptive type, so in that case I can ask this kind of question for 10 mark. Okay, but this is how you have to make your loading continuous. You just extend the loads in the same rate, same intensity, like this until the end of your B. Okay, then you after that you, as usual, as your moment, how we are finding the moment, trapezoid loading, triangle loading, what is the moment equation, I have used same equation only. Okay, I think the concept should be clear. This is how we have to make, this is the procedure to solve any problem.
So, sir, I was actually confused with that how to solve that uniformly varying load out of 90 kilonewton per meter.
Okay, that is what I explained. So we have to make a loading continuous like this. Okay, so then after that you know how to write the moment equation for a triangular load, right? So you must be knowing how to write the moment equation for a triangular, this trapezoidal load. Suppose if we won't do that completely, suppose we have a trapezoidal load. Okay, so I want to find, okay, let us take I want to find the moment, I want to write the moment equation at section x. Suppose if it is 100, if intensity is 100, so for example, and it is 50. Okay, okay, so this is, this length I am taking as this length is maybe 2 meter. Okay, okay, I am taking, it is 1 meter, it is 1 meter. so that it will be easy to solve it. Okay, this is your load. Okay, this is your trapezoidal load, not this question, for example. Okay, so I want to write the moment equation at this section due to this load. Okay, so how will you write this step? First I want to find out what is the value of your load intensity at this. Okay, what is this value? It is 50, it is 100. This is 1 meter. The total is 2 meters. The total length is 2 meters. So it is coming exactly at the midpoint. So this will be 75, I think. Okay, this will be 75. This value will be 75. Correct. This value is 50. So if you have doubt, you can solve it. Again, you 100 minus 50, the variation is 50. For every 2 meter, 50 is the variation. That means every 1 meter, 25 is the variation. So if you are moving from here to here, 50 plus 25, that will be this value. And if you are moving from here to here, 100 minus 25, that will be the this value. So both are 75. So now I got the value of load intensity. Now I can write the equation for the moment. So again, you have to either you can find out the area of this trapezoid, you will get total load. Okay, and then you find out the CG of your trapezoid. The total load you multiply with the CG distance, that will be the moment equation. Your moment at the section due to this, the trapezoidal load will be, the total load is nothing but the area of your trapezoid. Okay, area of the trapezoid, if you take total load as W into, you find out the CG of trapezoid, you must be knowing the equation. This is your moment. Okay, this is your moment in the clockwise direction. So otherwise this will be difficult. Okay, this will be difficult many times. Easiest procedure is you take the 75, 50. Okay, you divide it into a triangle and a rectangle. So this will be, if you divide 75, this will be 50, this is 25. So now I can easily find out moment at section X. Okay, the moment is, the load is 50, the distance is 1 meter, this is 1 meter, so this is 1 meter. Okay, so load is area of that rectangle 50 into 1. Okay, that is the total load. This area acting at the center, that is 1 by 2. Okay, plus the area of the triangle is the, so remaining load is your triangle, area of your triangle, that is half into, this is 25 into 1, that is area of triangle. It is a total load. It will be acting at this point CG. What is the distance of CG? The base by 3, B by 3. What is the length of this base? 1. So it is 1 by 3. So into 1 by 3. So if you do this, you will get total moment. This is how we have to find. If you can, you do it as a trapezoid. Find out the total load as the area of this trapezoid. Locate the CG. Multiply with the CG distance. That will be the moment. That is the concept. The remaining thing is you have to sit and solve. Okay, you have to just sit and solve. You have to spend some time, because this is not numerical. It is in terms of X and all, so you have to spend more time. So the concept is only this much. This is how you have to write the moment. Okay,
So,
you try it. Okay,
I was actually asking that can we solve this problem using the bubble integration or formula?
no,
Hello?
you cannot use the double integration directly. You can use the Macaulay method after doing this step. Okay, the double integration method, you can solve it, but that is much more difficult. Okay, so you have to use the Macaulay method. Okay,
Sir, for a overhanging beam, if we have some discontinuous loading, then we have to use the Macaulay formula, right? For overhanging beam.
so overhanging beam. Okay,
If we in a overhanging beam, we have different types of loading and discontinuous loading.
something like this. Correct, no? So this is a singly overhanging beam. Only one side I have overhang. Okay, 2 meters. So here 10 kilonewton. So this is 5 kilonewton. This is 3 meter length. So the problem like this we are asking. Correct?
Yes.
Hello. Okay, what is your question? Overhanging beam we have then.
So sir, we have to find out the deflection.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So again, so here, suppose if it is your question, okay, suppose if this is your question, so again you cannot use the double integration method. You can because this suppose I am writing your all equations from this end, this UDL is not continuous. So you have to make this UDL continuous by doing the same procedure. You extend this UDL till the point C, apply same UDL. So now you solve RA and RB. So now we can write, you take a n section where you have to take a section that is because I am taking the section x is I am measuring from the left end A. You have to take section moment you have to write for n span. Okay, you remember these points. You write the moment equation only for the n span. What is the n span? Your span BC, segment BC. You take a section here. Okay, okay. X is this distance. So now I can write the equation for the moment, that is mx equal to Ra into x, okay, minus 5 into x minus 2 into x minus 2 by 2, this equation, minus, okay, plus this UDL, that is plus 5 into x minus 5, okay, x minus, okay, there is okay, up to here the 5, okay, so x minus 5, I think you understood. And then RB, here I have RB plus RB into the total is x, so I am taking total, this is 6 meter, AB is 6 meter, 2 3 and this length is 1, okay, so this RB moment will be RB into x minus 6. So this will be your equation for the moment. Did you understand this equation?
sir.
Okay, so this is how you have to solve it. Again, you cannot solve by double integration method. You can solve it, there you have to apply that matching condition. That you may not have done that also. That is much more difficult. So this is, you extend this UDL. If it is UDL means it is going to be simple. Only the difficulty UVL. If you have a UVL like this you have to extend like this only. This calculation will be take a lot of time. Only that is the difficulty.
Sir,
Okay.
one more case.
Okay.
Sir, in a overhanging beam, the uniformly varying load, a uniformly triangular varying load up to certain length, and another certain length is there is no load at that place. Sir, overhanging beam. Sorry, sir.
Overhang,
No, no.
it is over. It is I mean like this.
No, sir.
Over. It is overhanging beam. This previous is an overhanging beam. Like.
Yes, sir. That one is correct. I just forgot. Cantilever beam.
Oh, you want cantilever beam. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So cantilever beam.
Cantilever beam, a uniform triangular varying load.
Okay.
From
Full span.
sir, from the
For
fixed
some.
from fixed end.
Okay. Up to what point?
Sir, at the fixed it is maximum.
Okay.
Maximum at the fixed point and up to certain length. Certain length. So that can be anything 8 to 10. A. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is.
Okay. So this one. Okay. This one. Okay. So this one I think you can directly solve. So what you have to do? You can do one thing. So we can find the reaction at A. So reaction at A is half into 10 into 2. So 10 kilonewton. Okay, that is the reaction, half into 10 into 2 area of this triangle. So now you, okay, that is what you don't fix anything. Okay, when you are studying something, I think I am correct. Okay, So you don't, because all this problem we measured x from this end. Okay, so why you can't take x from this end? No, what is problem? You measure x from this end, then your problem is solved. Like from here onwards I have UVL that is continuous till the end of your B. Okay, you take x from here, you take a section here, this is going to be x. So I think you can you take section, it will be coming like this. So this is your loading, this is your section. So I want to write the moment for section x, correct? This section you can write the moment. So you have a triangular load, so you can find out what is the intensity. This intensity you can find out in terms of x from this triangular variation. So now you don't need to you can directly apply the double integration method. You measure x from the right end, C, free end. Okay, then it is a continuous load, no? Correct, no? Then it is a continuous load.
Sir,
You are not getting.
sir, from B to C, it is discontinuous, right?
But continuous mean what? Continuous does not mean that you suppose you have a beam. Continuous does not mean that you should have this loading in the entire span. The only thing is, suppose you have beam. Okay, suppose I have beam. Suppose the loading is like this. So now once you are and you are going to write your equation from x. Okay, and if you are writing equation based on this like this, then once your load starts, it should be there till the end of the beam. Okay, this should be there till the end of the beam. It can be like this. It is this. I think it can be like this. This will come as a you can take it as a continuous load, as long as if you are writing your equation from this end. So I think you can do this.
Okay, sir. From the end C, we have to take the x. Here we can.
So yeah. The continuous means you don't think that it should be there in the entire span. That is the first point. And when the load is started and you are moving, in this case I am moving from here to here. Okay, I am moving from this support to this support, and if during this when you are traveling from A to B, once you see a load, it should be there till the end of the B. Okay, that is only the condition. So if you have the same problem, okay, and here loading is like this, and somebody is writing the equation from this end, then it is a discontinuous loading. As long as your solution is concerned, it is a discontinuous loading. But if somebody writing the equation from this end, it is a continuous loading. So that is why I considered for this problem, to make it continuous it will be difficult if you are writing equation from this end. So you don't do this, you simply write the equation from this end. So you start from here, you reach here. Okay, now the load is started, this is there till the end of your beam. So you can take it as continuous, you can directly apply the double integration method for this question. Okay, suppose if the load is like this, then it is not continuous. So suppose if it is like this, it is a discontinuous, and you don't try to write the equation from this end, that will be very difficult. Here you write your equation from this end, okay, and extend your load to the left support, extend your load to the left support, and here also you have to apply same load of equal magnitude. So like this you have to do. So you take this is also maybe important point, you have to take the origin while writing the moment equation. You have to measure x from suitable point, otherwise your solution will become difficult. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, today's in the first problem, you took two boundary conditions. That
Yes.
is at x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, at x is equal to 7, y is equal to 0. Sir, why did not we take that moment at A or B to be 0? That condition could have been also taken.
So you can take the condition, but with this, if you take, only thing is there is no fixed rule like you have to take those set of boundary conditions. It is not like that. So if you, this is a two boundary condition in terms of deflection, And if you are using these two boundary condition, finally what is there? I have how many unknowns? I have two unknowns. Okay, I have two unknowns, C1 and C2. I want to solve these two unknowns, so I have to form two equations. So I can simply form two equations from these two conditions. So if you are following these boundary conditions, you have to use this y equation. Okay, you have to use this y equation to form two equations, like x equals 0, y equals 0. You can form first equation, that is this equation, 0 equal to 0 plus c2. You got the value of c2. And I will form the second equation from the second boundary condition, that is also for deflection. So I have to use the deflection equation and apply the value x equal to 7 and y equal to 0. Again you can form a second equation, and I got the value of c1. And in case, suppose if you want to use the other boundary condition, suppose if you want to use the boundary condition in terms of moment, suppose in terms of moment means x equal to 0, and let me try that, ma equal to 0, that means x equal to 0, your t square y by dx square will be 0. So you can apply the, you can choose the boundary condition, but you have to use this equation. So if you use this equation, yeah, again there is a problem. This equation, yeah, this equation you can use x equal to 0, d square y by dx square equal to 0. But if you use that equation, will you get any benefit from this equation? Is there any use of using this equation?
No, sir.
No use, because there is no c1 and c2. I think you got the doubt because yesterday I used this boundary condition, I guess. So because there we had four elastic, four constant. So in that question we had four constant. So because we started from this equation, okay, we started from this equation, w by ei, because that was a special problem. We cannot start from the moment equation that I explained yesterday why. So we started from this equation. We have done integration 4 times. So first integration I got c1, second I got c1x plus c2. So similarly I got c3, c4 also. So here I had 4 boundary conditions. I had 4 boundary conditions. So in that case I had no choice. In this case, in this question I had no choice. I have 4 constant, and I have 4 boundary conditions. There is no doubt you have to use for all the 4 boundary conditions. But in the previous problem, today's class, that problem I have 4 boundary condition because your beam is simply support. But from this I have to use any 2 boundary condition. Any 2 boundary condition. How to choose any 2? That is how that thing you have to understand. Okay, how to choose any 2 boundary condition, that is what I explained. If you choose these 2 boundary conditions in terms of moment, you won't get any benefit because the moment equation is this one. There is no constant, is not there. So why? Because we started your integration from this moment equation. So there is no benefit, or there is no use of going for the these 2 boundary conditions in terms of moment in this question. That depends on question. Okay, that depends on question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Also you don't think that only in general. Okay, for all of you, suppose if you got simply supported beam, okay, suppose you got simply supported beam with some symmetric loading. So what will be the deflector shape? Your deflector shape will be, so if you have a symmetric loading, your deflector shape will be symmetric. Okay, the symmetric loading means if you take a mid segment, if you take a mid segment or L by 2, if you divide the beam into 2, the loading should be symmetric, and loading should be symmetric. Okay, if you have a symmetric loading, another example is like this. So I have a simply supported beam, it can be UDL, that is symmetric, or it can be a triangular load. So I have some loading at the center, and I have another, like it is also symmetric loading, because if you take a section, if you divide the beam into 2, my right hand side and left hand side will looks exactly same. Same means loading same and support condition also same. There is only one reaction, so everything is same. Anyway, this reaction will be 0. Okay, even though it hinge support, it is roller support, this reaction will be 0. So once this reaction is 0, with support I have only vertical reaction, and the loading is symmetric. So this problem, your loading is symmetric, your beam is symmetric, and if your beam is symmetric means two terms. It should be symmetric in terms of geometry. This length should be same, this length, this support condition should be same, and also loading also should be same. So in that case you can say your beam is symmetric. And if your beam is symmetric, your deflector shape of your beam also will be symmetric. That means your maximum deflection is going to have at the center. So if the deflection is maximum at the center, so you can get another condition, but that maybe you can use in this problem. So what is the deflection is maximum at the center, and if you draw a tangent at this point, so what your tangent will be horizontal. That means your the slope of the tangent will be 0. So if y is maximum, your dy by dx will be equal to 0. That is a mathematical. Okay, y is maximum, dy by dx is 0. That is your mathematics. But what is the meaning? Physical meaning to the beam is if y is maximum, so at that point your beam, okay, beam will be having, it will be like this. Your beam, the slope will be 0. It will be like slope will be 0. So you can use this condition. So for this example, I think for this example, again I am taking the same example, simply supported beam, but here we don't have a symmetric loading. In case if we have a symmetric loading, okay, in case if we have a symmetric loading like this or UDL, so we have a symmetric loading like, okay, so just wait once. Okay, I will just give it because this will be useful sometimes. We can solve the problem maybe a little more easy. Okay. Suppose this is your question. Okay, so this is your question. So this will be the deflector shape. So A, B. Okay, here what is the boundary? I will just explain the boundary condition. Okay, that is only things here. So what are the boundary condition for this beam? So boundary condition means that for some value of x, something should be known to you. Either it can be slope, deflection, or moment, whatever it is. Okay. So y, so at x equal to 0, y is 0, you know already. This span is I am taking 3 meter. Okay. So x I am measuring from here, for reference point is A. Second boundary condition at x equal to 3 meter. Okay, y is 0. Third boundary condition at x equal to 0, d square y by dx square is 0. So y, the moment is 0 at point A, moment and d square y by dx square both are related, m by a. So fourth boundary condition at x equal to 3 meter, your moment is 0, that means d square y by dx square. So here I can get another boundary condition. So that is why boundary condition, it is not like I have only 2 boundary condition every time or 4. It is not like that. That depends on your question. That depends on your given beam. Okay. So here I can get another boundary condition, that is your from the maximum deflection. If you see this beam, it is symmetric loading. Your deflection will be maximum at this point. In this case, maximum will be at the center. So that means at x equal to L by 2, that is equal to 1.5 meter. In this case, x equal to 1.5 meter, your y is maximum. Okay, so y is maximum, your dy by dx, okay, dy by dx equal to 0. So this is the another boundary condition. The fifth boundary condition, okay, fifth boundary condition is this one, at x equal to L by 2, dy by dx is 0. So we can make use of this equation. Why? Your starting problem will be starting like this, d square y by dx square, okay, m by ei. So what is the equation for m? I think I can write directly, m is Ra is wl by 2. So your moment will be wl by 2 into x, Ra into x minus w, this intensity is w, so minus w x square by 2. So it is for m by ei. I think you understood this. So d square y by dx square equal to m by ei, and m is Ra into x minus w x square by 2, because I have taken a section like this, x, this distance is your x meter. So your equation wl by 2 into x, wl by 2 is the reaction at the support, minus wx square by 2 by ei. So here you can directly apply your double integration method, okay, because your loading is continuous. So now what is the next step? You will integrate this first, dy by dx, okay, equal to the w by l, okay, ei I am taking here, ei is here, okay, this ei I have taken to this side, w by l by 2, wl by 2 into x square by 2, okay, so minus wx cube, okay, wx cube by 3 into 2, 6 plus c1. This will be your first equation. So I can use this equation and I can apply this boundary condition, x equal to 1.5, dy by dx 0. So that means 0 equal to, okay, 0 equal to wl by 2. So 0 equal to wl by 4, okay, wl by 4 into x is 1.5 square minus w by 6 into x is 1.5 cube, okay, plus c1. So if you can solve this equation, you can get the value of c1. So you can use this boundary condition. You can use the equation because dy by dx equation I have a constant of integration c1. So to solve that constant integration, I can use this boundary condition. It's not necessary you have to take always this one. Suppose you got a question, you have to find only the constant integration or something like this, or you have to find the question, you got the same question, you have to find only slope. Okay, suppose your question is only slope, you don't need to find the differential, then you do the integration only once. You don't need of doing second integration. If you do the second integration, you will get the value, you will get the equation for y. So but the question is only slope at some point here. Okay, for that case you do integration only once, and instead of, then you cannot use these two boundary condition because your equation is for deflection only. So use this boundary condition in this equation and you can get the value c1, not 0. You can get the value of c1. You just solve this equation and you can get the value of c1. You got some value. So now you got the equation for your slope, w into something plus c1, that constant. So like this you can use the, you see the boundary condition. If that will give you any benefit for your question, if it will, then you use that. Okay, otherwise don't use. So anyway, these two, if your equation, if your solution is starting from here, so definitely these two boundary conditions will never help you. Okay, this will not help you, but many times this will help you. Like this, whenever the deflection is maximum, at that point, at that section, you can take your slope as 0. Okay, you can take your slope as 0, then you use the equation for the slope. Okay, then you use the equation for the slope to find out that constant of integration. So I think, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think, you have any other doubt? If it is fine, then we'll stop the class. Okay. So you have any doubt in this topic? Okay, I think it is clear. The next class I will discuss moment area method. Okay. Next class we'll discuss moment area method.